Mr. President, thank you for taking the time to speak with us today.
Thank you for inviting.
Earlier today, you had a discussion with President Niinistö, and one of the topics was Russia. Niinistö is traveling to Moscow this Friday to meet President Putin. Does he carry a message from you?
No, not really for me. I mean, Mr. President knows what to talk and how to talk with Russian president. So we briefly discussed this matter and also about the topics. And one of the topics I understood was climate change and environmental issues. So what's going to happen in Moscow, we'll know, let's say, on Friday night or Saturday morning.
Yeah, that's right. Yesterday, Niinistö met the NATO folks here in Helsinki. Today, he met you. And as said, on Friday, he's going to meet Putin. Do you see Finland acting as a messenger between East and West?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, your president has a very tight schedule, and I seriously think that this is very important that President Niinistö and Finland has taken this kind of approach, talking to our big neighbor, to Russia. So, as you probably know, and as we all know, not every country and also European Union in general has not taken that approach. And of course, the ball is not it's not on our field. It's in Kremlin or in Russia. So, but this dialogue, I guess, it is important, and I'm very pleased that President Niinistö has taken this approach.
One of the most complicated issues, I guess, for any Estonian president is the communication with Russia. What are your guidelines in this?
Well, I'm a person who would like to discuss to anybody, to all our neighbors, Russia included. So let's wait and see how it goes and how our relations goes. And we are a member of European Union, and we also have to take into account how European Union is approaching Russia. So it's because there are a number of issues, Ukraine and also now it's not Russian issue, but still it's Belarus and so forth.
You mentioned Belarus, and right now, as we speak, there is a hybrid operation going on. Belarus is bringing people from the Middle East and sending them over to Lithuania and Poland. What do you think this is about? What is happening?
Well, it makes us worrying. Of course, we are worried. What's going to happen? Let's say, because winter is coming, and there are a number of immigrants who have been forced to cross the border. So it makes us very worried, and it's a border of not only Lithuania and Poland, it's a border of European Union. So we should all be worried, and I know that Finland in the past had already this kind of experience with a Russian border, so it's nothing really new.
Yeah, in 2015. Who is pulling the strings here in Belarus in this matter?
Well, it's difficult to say who is actually pulling the strings, and it's not me to say, because I'm not informed and in that sense, but somebody does, that's for sure, because people are coming with tourist visas to Belarus, and when they're crossing borders, and as I said, this makes us very worried.
What kind of a threat does Russia pose right now from Estonia's point of view?
Well, it's not Estonia in particular, because I wouldn't say we are not worried. We are concerned, of course, which happening, but we still very much believe that we are a member of European Union, we are a member of NATO, and we have certain agreements with these two institutions. So we shouldn't be worried in that sense that tomorrow will start something which we don't want to start.
Finland, of course, is not a member of NATO. Estonia is. If Finland and Sweden, for that matter, became members, do you think this would make the Baltic region more secure or less secure?
It depends on whose point of view. I mean, from my point of view, it does make more secure, of course, but it's up to Finnish and Swedish people, not to Estonian people, to decide whether they are going to be a member of NATO or not. But of course, connection and military collaboration is going to be tighter than it's at the moment. Although we have very good collaboration even now with Finnish military forces and armies.
Yeah, but I mean the balance of power and the threats in the Baltic region is very delicate.
Yeah, it is delicate, and probably Russia is not sitting and standing there and watching, so it's probably making certain moves.
How do you see the intentions and goals of Russia in the Baltic region?
Of course, they have certain interests. It's obvious, but how they achieve that interest, it's difficult to say. And it's not only Baltics; it's the whole belt which is bordering Russian Federation. So, and steps they made in Crimea is obvious that they have some interests, and the same with Ukraine. So we have to be very careful. What we have to do, to find alliances with our neighbors, first of all, I mean Latvia, Lithuania, also Poland, Finland, to make sure nothing really happens in coming years.
Mr. President, let's talk about the corona pandemic. Since yesterday, Estonia has been enforcing a very strict corona policy. For example, people over 18 years old can't basically go anywhere without a COVID certificate. You had to adopt this policy because hospitals are full and people are not getting vaccinated. So far, about 56–57% of Estonians are fully vaccinated. Why is that? Why isn't the percentage higher?
Again, it's difficult to say. It's probably something social scientists and medical people and political scientists should discuss at some point, because if you look at the map, kind of borderline goes between Eastern and Western Europe. So something has been happening in the past. But in Finland, we know that the percentage is going to up to 80 already. So, and one reason might be that the trust let's say, to a president or to the government is much higher in Finland compared to Estonia. And another thing is all the parties in Finland, they agreed that vaccination is a key to get rid of this disease. In Estonia, we don't see this agreement between different parties.
Yeah. You have a background as a scientist. What do you personally think of people who don't get vaccinated?
Well, they don't make themselves in a trouble situation, but also others, and I think this is important. Vaccination is not the only thing which will solve all these problems, because I have seen in the past. But vaccination does help to get rid of this disease, in a sense that the hospitals are not full anymore and that medical personnel is not exhausted. So in that sense, vaccination is a key issue. And I recommend everybody to vaccinate, although we all know that also vaccination has side effects, like every treatment, medical treatment.
Do you have signs of disinformation or misinformation coming from outside, from Russia or other countries outside Estonia?
It's difficult to say. I mean, I don't have this kind of information, but we have to solve misinformation which comes from our own politicians and our own medical personnel.
Thank you for your time, Mr. President.
Thank you very much.